I'm Kyle Alexander with AutoSuccess Magazine. Today, I'm chatting with Sean Patronis. He's the CISO at Proton Dealership IT. Today, we're talking about cybersecurity.
This podcast is brought to you by Proton Dealership IT. When your team is focused on selling and servicing vehicles, who is focused on keeping your systems secure? With a 24/7 365 operation, Proton can monitor, detect, and respond to potential network or cyber issues. Sleep easy knowing your dealership is covered.
Sean, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
First off, let's talk a little bit about you, Sean. Tell me about yourself and some of your work with Proton. I know you recently just took on the role of CISO with Proton. Tell me a little bit about that and what Proton does.
Sure, yeah. So I'm the Chief Information Security Officer for Proton. And so that means I'm responsible for all of the security, technical security for Proton. And I deal with all the data that Proton deals with. I get to make the decisions related around security and our posture and what our customers see of us and services they use that are related to security. So what does Proton do? So we provide IT services to automotive dealerships. We provide cybersecurity services, and we also provide compliance services. So soup to nuts, IT, cybersecurity compliance. We don't necessarily provide IT to every customer. Sometimes it's just cybersecurity and compliance, but we have the full suite of tools and professionals to help support any dealership.
Very cool. I'm sure it keeps you quite busy, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kind of speaking on that, give me an example maybe of a cyber attack from your perspective. How are you and Proton able to rescue a dealership or even a dealer group from cyber attacks that happen?
Yeah, so we have two, I guess, major groupings of cyber attacks that we deal with. And they're from the perspective of, are they our customer already or are they not our customer already? So the first one, let's say you're one of our customers and we do your cybersecurity for your business. So, you know, the internet as a major battlefield, you know, they don't say that, it doesn't seem like that because we're on it all the time, but the public's on it all the time. And there's cyber attacks going on 24/7, 365. And sometimes even with the best protection, something still gets through. So maybe a bad guy slips a phishing email into one of your dealership employees, and they click on a link or they download some malware and something gets executed. You know, our tools catch this malware. We still consider it an attack, but our analysts will jump in, clean up anything that may get through our defenses, which happens occasionally. It doesn't happen often. But there may be some new type of attack that does slip through. And then we'll clean it up, respond to the customer, get everything back to a baseline, get them all protected. In some cases, the customer never sees this happening. It's behind the scenes working. In some cases, we need to do a little more work. Like maybe we realize we have all the logging that says, hey, they clicked on this phishing email, their password got stolen by a bad guy, and we saw them try to log in from somewhere. So we reset everything, making sure they have proper MFA set up to help protect themselves, make sure they're meeting the baselines that we help those customers develop and implement. So, you know, there's some customer interaction there. So that's probably, I would say, the most common cyber attack we deal with. It happens all the time in the world. It happens to every business. We're just the experts who do it day in, day out. They're professionals, and that's what we do. The second type of cyber attack is when somebody's referred to us, and generally that happens when they're in the middle of a major event, major incident, or a ransomware event, or their business is down, and they need help, and they need help getting back to business and recovering from some catastrophic style event. And those happen multiple times a year. And I have teams that are dedicated to helping we'll call them future customers recover, right? So that process has my incident response team working with the dealerships that are impacted. And they may work with their cyber insurance companies, their lawyers, the dealership principals, and the dealership IT teams if they have their own IT teams. And we help usher them through an incident response, help give them guidance. We perform a lot of security cleanup work, deploying tools. We'll put people on the ground at the dealership if needed to kind of speed up the process. A lot of times these customers that are in the middle of an attack. Maybe it's day 7 already of attack and their business has been down. And they reached out to us because they heard from another dealership that we helped them, get back to business a lot faster. So we're kind of a force multiplier for the IT and security teams that the dealership may already have. And we can kind of get them back going. We've dealt with a lot of the insurance companies already that they may have. So we're used to the workflow, and the speed at which we can get things done is definitely really, really, really good. And so we're there to be that knowledgeable security source of information and repairs. A lot of times these IT teams that the dealerships have never been through something like this. And so they're not sure where to start, how to handle when a curveball comes in, because every incident's a little different, and how you tackle it's a little different. Every dealership environment's a little different. And we just have a lot of experience doing it. So I guess from their perspective, we're just the trusted advisor and rapid response team.
Awesome. I heard you mention 3 numbers a little earlier on in your response there, 24/7, 365. I think everyone kind of has a general idea of, what the literal term of that means, but what does it mean to you and to Proton?
To me, it means we're always on. We always have response people available and working. So for Proton, that means we have, employees in the United States at our facilities 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So there's a human monitoring, responding to alerts, escalating things as necessary to the more senior teams as needed, depending on what automations may or may not fix something, or what teams have to go get involved. So on top of that, a human employee in a facility 365, we'll have teams that are always on call. So we have team leads, and that's a rotation for different teams for different aspects of what we do. So that means it's hard to do that. You have to have a large enough organization to actually manage that type of rotation, first, second, third shift type rotation. And we're really good at doing it. And that's how and we're all American based. So that's even harder, actually, because we're not overseas and we're not contracting out with any third parties to go do this work for us. It's all in-house, all employees, all managed on our own. So that makes it more challenging, more expensive, but we have knowledgeable workers that we like to keep employed, and they do a really good job.
So what are some tools and tips that any dealership employee can learn from and use to help safeguard their dealership business?
Sure. There's quite a few of them, but let's start with, employees are your human firewall. They're the first line of defense in a lot of cases to a lot of these cyber attacks. So security awareness training is instrumental, just if you don't give the people knowledge to go prevent things from happening, how would they know until they get burned, right? You tell your kids not to touch the stove, but then they touch the stove and they get burned. Well, if you didn't tell them, that maybe they would have found out a much harder way than if you actually taught them about it. So think about that. Your training is important. Getting the right training in front of your employees is important. Updating that training to your employees is important, because cyber attacks change. That's how we learn not to click on certain links, and learn how to spot deep fakes, and learn how to understand, what's right and what's wrong, what the business does. So that's one thing. Another thing that dealership employees can learn to safeguard the business is, protect yourself with the appropriate quality tools, cybersecurity tools. Filter your email, use multi-factor authentication for your email and for anything that contains PII in your dealership. So if your DMS has the capability of doing multi-factor authentication, you should be using it. Also, make sure that you're filtering some of your email for spam and malware. Make sure your endpoints are protected with quality endpoint detection and response software, so EDR. And ideally, that should be managed and monitored 365 days a year, 24 hours a day by cybersecurity professionals. So, your one IT guy is probably, their job is so full already, they shouldn't have to manage their cybersecurity suite of tools solely, right? They need a backup team to help monitor and manage them. So think about it as a redundant layer. It's going to catch things at night when your IT guy's sleeping. I would say those three core things are super important. Have plans in place, incident response plans for when things go sideways. Have a disaster recovery plan that help you understand what's going to happen when this goes down. I'll say to kind of back up a little bit. That second type of attack that we see when they're not our customer yet, a lot of times we'll even get brought in where a dealership's under a ransomware event and they think they got it under control and they try to get the business back going again, but they didn't clean up everything right. And then another attack happens right after that from the same cyber group because they don't want to get kicked out. They want to try to ransomware things and get paid and get money. It's a business. So, sometimes you can't do it all alone and all by yourself. So think about having a backup to your IT teams.
Sean, I want to ask you about something that's impacting not just the auto dealer industry, but many industries around the world right now, and that is AI. How is AI impacting cybersecurity for you and Proton and auto dealers across the country?
Yeah, so there's AI is a tool, just like anything else. So it could be used for good, it could be used for evil, and my teams use it for good, of course, and we use it to help spot evil activities as well. So it's a piece that everybody should be looking at. And a lot of I would say on the good side, even on some of your dealership tools that you may use AI to generate, descriptions of vehicles for sale, for example, and maybe make things sound more flowery, or maybe they'll transcribe calls and give you kind of sentimental analysis about, okay, was this customer upset or happy? So those are great uses for AI. We use it on our team to help detect weird behaviors on endpoints and things that that this intelligence can kind of pick up on. So it's going to help with a lot of that. But I'll say on the bad side, the attackers are using it the same way. They're using AI to generate great looking phishing emails they're trained on other emails that are professional and look really well. And they're really convincing. And so they'll get you to click on something you're not supposed to click on, or get you to change your bank routing information, or whatever it may be. They're using AI tools to do that and make sure their grammar is right. So maybe the cyber criminals are targeting American dealerships. They're going to sound like an American when they're typing an email. But if they're targeting a British dealership or a French dealership or a Canadian, they may change their the accent, so to speak, of the email a little bit to kind of be convincing. So the bad guys are going to use the tools just as much, and that just means we need to combat it the same way. We need to build in more automations. That's what we see happening this year. A lot more automations, a lot better tools, a lot more intelligent tools using AI and other technologies to help combat those AI generated attacks and all the new permutations of all the attacks we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I think AI is something we're going to be talking about for quite some time here in our industry and moving forward. Kind of speaking of the future too, what's to come for you guys at Proton and maybe cybersecurity as a whole throughout the rest of 2025?
I mean, so it's just constant improvement for us. The minute that we stop improving is the minute we stagnate and we're not providing the top-notch service anymore. So, I think it's developing better tools to help protect our customers, modifying any of the tools that we have, using artificial intelligence for good, and all the automation that comes with it. I think that is the main focus, and just building a larger customer base for us and protecting them better than they can do on their own, and then being a great partner. So this business is relationships and building trust, and that's what we're focusing on.
Awesome. Sean, thank you for your time and all of your insights about cybersecurity and Proton. Thanks for chatting with me today.
Thank you.